10 Things You Didn't Know About Donald Trump. Donald John Trump, one of the successful business icons and political man in the US. Yet, there are some major hidden things of his life you are probably unknown about. He is the 45th president of the US and have been recently beaten by Joe Biden for the post. Before entering politics, he was a businessman and television personality. The one who believes the United States has an incredible potential and will go on to exceed even its remarkable achievements of the past, is also an accomplished author. So, let's learn more about his unpublished life and hidden facts. It will be interesting as we share you the 10 things you probably didn't know about Donald Trump. Number 10. He went to military school. At the age of 13, Trump was sent to the New York Military Academy due to behavioral problems in his previous school. His parents believed that a little discipline would fix the conduct of his pretty rough, defiant young fellow. Once there, however, he earned the title of a loudmouth bully, as some of its residents recalled. Before military school, Trump was famous for breaking the rules, but now, more than 50 years later, Levine, his former roommate, says he and the other guys still kind of admire Trump. So it clearly shows that the millionaire presidential candidate Donald Trump was indisciplined and a bit of rule breaker, which took him to the hell for a child of military school. Number 9. He launched his own board game. Trump launched a board game in 1989 called Trump the Game, which was all about, you can guess, making money in real estate. Players could flash all-powerful Trump card, "You're fired," at each other to end all negotiations. The PR for the launch read, "Parker Brothers and Donald Trump are challenging consumers to determine whether they have the brains and the brawn to be the next Donald Trump." Consumers apparently weren't interested in the challenge and the game was discontinued more than once. The box also states that the game is for exactly 2 players. This too is deadly accurate and led to no small amount of shady dealings and clandestine operations around the 4-person Saudi household, all to determine who would get to play the game next. The board was practically traded off in a dark parking garage. Number 8. He restored the Central Park skating rink. The famous Wollman skating rink in Central Park, New York was undergoing renovation in 1986, but had reached a standstill due to a financial drain. Trump, who would see the unfinished construction from his office window, decided to gain control of the project. He finished the construction from his office window, decided to gain control of the project. He finished the construction 2 months ahead of schedule and well within the budget. He wanted to handle renovation costs himself. He planned on covering the costs by running a restaurant adjacent to the rink, but the city finally covered the costs and the profits were donated to charity. Number 7. He starred in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Remember the scene where Kevin walks into the Plaza Hotel for the first time and asks for directions? It is Trump who plays the 2-second role of the Good Samaritan that directs him to the reception. Those pleasant manners have made him unrecognizable for years. Number 6. He made sizable contributions to Democrats. Well, if I ever ran for office, I'd do better as a Democrat than as a Republican, Donald Trump told Playboy in 1990. And that's not because I'd be more liberal, because I'm conservative. But the working guy would elect me. He likes me. It turns out that even the Donald can predict the future. After all, 25 years after the comment, he's mounting a strong early push for the Republican presidential nomination. And while he framed himself as a conservative back then, his sympathies and political views have been all over the map during the last 25 years. Only in the last few years has he seemed to find some cohesive ground in what he thinks and whom he supports. According to the analysis conducted by the Daily Caller, between 1989 and 2010, Trump donated more to the Democratic groups than he did to the Republicans, a difference of $23,700. A further analysis showed that in the 2006 midterm election, Trump's contributions may have tipped the table towards Barack Obama's political office. Number 5. There is a Donald Trump action figure. There are Trump talking figures selling on Amazon that shout out, "You're fired." These were mockingly used in Ted Cruz's political ad. Hero Builders also came up with Trump talking dolls, but with an interesting choice of Trump with or without hair. Donald Trump talking figure says 17 different audio lines in Trump's own voice, loaded with his funniest and most memorable quotes, beautifully sculptured, includes batteries, collectible. Number 4. Tour de Trump, the American version of Tour de France. Trump offered his name to the American equivalent of the European cycling races in 1989. Inadvertently, he made the whole event controversial. The inaugural race was held in New Paltz, New York, where many people gathered with anti-Trump signs and slogans. Tour de Jersey was the name first picked by his business partner Billy Packer. One can only wonder now if the races would have seen better days with that title. Number 3. He liked using pseudonyms. His most popular pseudonyms are John Barron and John Miller. On several occasions, he has addressed the media under the guise of these spokespersons. Barron was sometimes a Trump Organization vice president and sometimes a caller on the phone, threatening to file a lawsuit. It was in a 1990 legal case that he, under oath, confessed, "I believe on occasion I used that name." He used several pseudonyms including John Barron or John Barron, John Miller, and David Dennison. His practice of sometimes speaking to the media under the guise of a spokesperson has been described as an open secret at the Trump Organization and in New York media circles. Number 2. He's friends with Mike Tyson. Trump won the bid to the live rights of the 1998 Tyson-Spinks boxing match and hosted it at the Trump Plaza Hotel. Although he stopped promoting his matches after Tyson's prison term, they continued to be friends. Tyson even endorsed Trump's presidential campaign. "Mike Tyson endorsed me. I love it." He sent out a tweet. Mike.